Hey guys, welcome back. It's Joey again, and tonight it's my weekend, man. So I thought I'd head over into the garage and spend some time with you and do another metal detector review. And today we're going to go ahead and do some target separation, and I'm going to be showing you guys the Vanquish 440 and the Simplex and the Apex. And I'm going to show you guys how they perform with target separation. The ability for it to pull a good signal around bad signals. So if that sounds fun, stay tuned. Alright guys, so what I have down here on my little test track here is going to be a 14 karat ring, right? A 14 karat horseshoe ring, some diamonds in it, and then you're going to have the typical piece of iron that you would find in the ground, all rusty after it's been in there a while, and let's just say just like a bolt, okay? And it's quite obvious we don't want those two. We definitely came out there for this thing right here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all three of these guys here and I'm going to run them through side by side and let you see how they actually perform side by side, so you can have an idea for yourself if this behavior is something that you're going to be able to work with, because each of these detectors have a different language. In my opinion, these two guys right here actually speak the same language as far as detector language. The Garrett Apex speaks a different language, and I'm going to try to show you exactly what I mean. Okay, so we're going to start with the Nokta Makro. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and turn this thing on. Simplex. All right, so I've got it on field 2, and here's the tones that you want to hear. Okay, so on this guy you're going to hear this. We don't want that, and this is what you hear over here, and you don't want that. You want to hear this, right? You don't want to hear that, and you don't want to hear that. So when you sweep, you're going to hear something like this. You hear those three beeps? It goes The end sounds you don't want to hear. I'm not going to stop for that. And I'm not going to stop for that. I will stop for that. So listen. Now look at my swing speed, right? You can clearly hear three sounds. And you can clearly hear the sound that you want bleeding through that iron and junk. Okay, so to me that's a winner. That's a language that I understand. I understand off, on, off. You right? So on, off, on, off, off, on, off, off, on, off, off, on, off. Okay. And it's able to pull that sound through. Okay. So to me, I can hunt with the Nokta, the Makro Simplex. I can hunt with this. Okay. So then the next one here we're going to go with the Vanquish. And see how the Vanquish does. And now the Vanquish is multi-IQ, okay? You can see right there, multi-IQ. We'll cut it on. All right, so let's try this again over here. You hear that buzzing? I don't stop for that. I'm not going to stop for that. I will stop for that, okay? So here's this. Again, you're going to hear that the 3. 1, 2, 3. You're going to hear 1, 2, 3. You can clearly hear the tone that you want pop right out the center. Somehow the multi-IQ is able to silence the iron on the left and right and still allow the target that you want in the center to pop through with the good sounding tone that you want to hear. Iron you don't want. I don't want that. So you get 3 repeatable sounds there. I hope you guys can understand what I'm saying here about off, on, off, right? When you're detecting, you want this thing, which you don't want, which is an off signal. This right here, an on signal, and then this over here, an off signal. So you want your detector to be quick enough as you're sweeping across it to turn itself on, off, and on without any bleed over, okay? I hear 3 noises. Okay? So let's go ahead and try the next guy over here. Turn this radio down here. I don't want no copyright strikes if you can hear that in the background. Alright, so then the next one here that we're going to go with is we're going to give the Garrett a run. Now I'm trying to tell you right here that the Garrett speaks a different kind of a language. The Garrett likes to let you know that there's iron in the ground. Where the other detectors, they'll let you know that iron's in the ground, but they obviously know that you're not there to hear iron. They know that you want to hear better things in the ground than iron. And it silenced the iron to allow the better signal to bleed through. Let's just see how Garrett performs under the same conditions, okay? And so we're gonna go ahead and go with coins, because normally I hunt in coins, and we'll see how it goes with coins. Do you guys just hear what I just heard there? I hope you guys did hear that, because all I'm hearing from there is just straight grunts all the way. Okay, that's what I want. I don't want that. I don't want any of that. And then when I sweep, I want something good. I want this. That's cherry picking, but how are you going to cherry pick something when it's buried in the ground and you sweep like this? You're not going to stop for that. You're just going to keep going. You're going to walk around, and then you're going to come across this crap, and you're going to keep going, right? Now, I've seen guys play around with this. They say, okay, well, let's not hunt in coins. Let's go ahead and change this up and hunt in jewelry. So we'll try jewelry. See, it seems like it's trying to let it come through, but that's the sound that you want right there. You want that sound. But the iron warning is so strong, and the iron warning is so loud that it bleeds over a good sound. And once again, you got an entire park that you're trying to detect. You're not gonna stop for this with regular sweeps. All right, and if I take the iron off, here, I just turned the iron off. Now I'm not hearing anything. To me, I'm just sweeping across it. I'm not hearing anything. Now, I heard something right here. But then it goes away. I mean, you gotta really sweep very, very, very slowly with the with this Garrett in order to find your targets. Okay, a general sweep like this won't do it. You got to sweep like this. So, no, guys, when you're buying the Garrett, it speaks a different language. Can it perform? Yes, it can. Are you going to have to change the way that you sweep? Are you going to have to be more intuitive about how you detect? Are you going to have to set this thing up a little bit more to pinpoint? Yes, you are. Because if you come out there in just regular coins mode, which, you know, the coins mode here has all the coins in it, and generally silver rings will fire up in here too. So you're going to come out to the park, you have your detector set up for coins and rings, and you come out to the park and all you hear is this. Just grunts. And I'm like, thanks, Garrett. I appreciate you telling me that there's iron in the ground, but you're not an iron detector, are you? I don't want to hear iron. I want to hear the good stuff that I came here for. I want that ring. And I can't get that ring with all these grunts. So if you're going to set it, you might want to set it to custom. And if you set it to custom, it's gonna notch out these first like 3 or 4 segments right here, and it'll keep the rest of these in. And with this, you might have a chance, okay? So you're getting 3 beeps there. But you see that? That's the tone that you want, that high tone to come through. But what did it do? It made all 3 of those sounds sound like iron. It sounds like 3 pieces of iron in the ground. It doesn't have that cool sound that I want to hear. I want to hear that. But if you sweep, it sounds like 3 pieces of junk. All right. So this was the kind of a frustrating time that I had with this Garrett Ace Apex here. Now, you know, don't get me wrong. I like this machine. I really wanted this machine to work, you know, and I'm on the fence with it, man. I don't know if I want to sell it or not. I mean, people have asked me, hey, do you want to get rid of your Apex? You want to get rid of your Garrett? And I'm like, man, I don't know. I'm not as productive with this machine right here as I am with this over here. And like I said, clearly you can understand why I would go to something like this and why I would give this to somebody who's starting off new, because I just turn it on. I don't have it even set to anything, and I just come out here and I'm gonna sweep, and what do I hear? Right? That's the good sound that I want to hear. Now tell me, when I sweep across this junk, can you hear the good sound? You can, can't you? You hear off, on, off. The separation of metal is very quick in this detector. It knows how to tell this guy, hello, I'm here, and then, okay, shut up. Hello, I'm here, okay, shut up. Hello, I'm here, okay, shut up, okay? Very easy for me to tune my ears into my target, and I know when to stop, because I'm going to be walking around, I don't see nothing. I hear 3 noises. There it is. And I'm gonna dig that right out of the ground. All right. So in my opinion right here, man, the Nokta Simplex This machine speaks my language, and if I was going to detect, I'm probably going to be more productive with this machine right here. And then I really like this Minelab too. I've always had success with Minelab. I don't even know why I bought this machine, man, because this machine here, look at all that red. You know, I mean, it looks like a toy. The first thing my wife said when she saw this, she was, "Oh, nice toy. Who's that for? Your granddaughter?" I was like, "Yeah, funny." I said, "No, it's not for my granddaughter. This is supposed to be like the baby Equinox 600, right? It's supposed to have the same multi-IQ technology as the Equinox." And so that's why I bought it. I wanted to try it and see, does it actually sound and behave like the Equinox? So again, here's the tones. You don't want to hear that. You don't want to hear that. You want to hear that. Okay? So, no, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. I want to hear that. So under a normal sweep speed, what are you going to hear? Can you guys hear how that good target comes right through? You can hear the audio of the iron, which I appreciate, but also the machine knows when to off, on, off. It knows when to allow this signal to come through and tell the other guys, be quiet, right? You know what I mean? I'm not going to go out there and sweep really slow like I hear some of the other metal detectors say, hey, you really got to sweep really, really slow with the Garrett in order to, you know, to hear that sound. Now look, man, look at the prices of these guys here, man. Let's take a look at the prices of these guys, just so you have an idea of your bang for your buck value, okay? This Simplex is selling for around 279 bucks if I'm right. I believe it should be around 279. This thing should be around 279. And this guy's coming in at 450 bucks. All right? So you're looking at 279 sub $300 detectors over here, and something over here that's going for 450 bucks. And guys, you just seen it right here. When you go to the park, you don't want to play games, man, especially if you're new to this hobby. You want to be inspired. You want to have a good crack at finding the stuff that you want to find, and you want to have success to come home and have something to show for yourself, like a ring or some jewelry or necklace or some coins or something like that. These guys here speak a language that is different from this. I'm not saying that the Garrett Apex is bad. I mean, just look at how sexy it is. Just look at the box. I mean, it is an awesome detector. I mean, I've been on the fence of whether I wanted to sell it, but I can't find any reason to keep this detector while living in the city. In the city parks, I can't see the reason for using that. On the beach, this guy right here really rocks. These guys do well on the beach as well. This one does well, this one does the best. So I mean, if you guys are going to be on the beach, this is going to work really well. Why? Because there's not so much iron and junk stacked close to each other. It's going to be well spaced. The Apex does wonders, and it does very, very well when there's no crap in the ground next to it that's going to make it, you know, interfere with the signal. So guys, in a nutshell, wrapping it all up for you, I hope you were able to see how these guys operate side by side on a typical target separation test as I've laid out here for you tonight. All right, guys, so there you have it. A little wrap up here of the 3 detectors and how they actually target mask and how they sound and perform side by side under the same conditions. And you guys got to see it and hear it for yourself, exactly what I see and what I go through at the park with the 3 detectors. And I hope that you were able to get, you know, an understanding and a grasp of target masking, because it was difficult for me when I first started. But especially for the newcomers that are coming new into the hobby, I'd like to give you guys an opportunity to not get frustrated and abandon it, because it can be a very fun hobby for you if you understand the language that these detectors talk. And each one of them have their own. You know, like the Minelab, the Nokta. To me, they both sound about the same. The on-off on is pretty much the same, and I can actually pick up and go with those guys really quick. The Garrett speaks a little bit differently. For some individuals that understand how that detector, you know, performs, they can actually work with it, adjust the settings, and you know, be a little bit more meticulous and spend more time on a target and actually pull something out, and it'll work great for them. But for me, this right here, I wouldn't recommend the actual Apex for a beginner. I would probably choose Nokta, Minelab. Needless to say, they're cheaper too by a long shot. It's probably like half the price of what this detector is. Anyways, guys, that's it. I'm gonna wrap this up for tonight, and I hope you got something out of it. I hope it was useful. If it was, please feel free to comment down below and give me a thumbs up. I'm trying to grow this channel here in Las Vegas, and subscribe. And I will see you guys again with my next review, whatever that may be. You guys be safe, be well, take it easy.